Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 12th. We're just going to jump right in here, Aquarius, and we're going to take a look. Sorry, let me just move that a little bit. We're going to take a look at your general energies for the week in this first row right here. Then we're going to look at anything unexpected that could be coming in for you in the next row right here. Then we're going to look at all the good stuff that could be coming in for you. And so it doesn't matter what shows up here in this row. It's going to be good no matter what, of course. And then we're going to look at any messages from your guides in this last row here. And on top of all that, we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards at the end. And that'll be that. So you start off here with the spider. It says, be meticulous and patient. You have a lot of signs of patience here, although I kind of feel like a never-ending story is coming to an end. You know, in the area of the good stuff, you have the Nine of Swords. So again, Nine of Swords, it doesn't matter that it's a challenging card because we're looking at the good stuff. And so I feel that for some of you, the Nine of Swords there is basically saying you're ending a never-ending nightmare, something that has been a nightmare. You have a lot of cards, actually, that kind of represent the same thing. You have this constancy card next, which is basically faithfulness. You know, constancy is the fact that you've been kind of like faithful to something in your life. It's kind of an energy of also not giving up. It kind of represents like enduring something, going through something. You also have this card at the end that says you will be a great success, but you will have to go through it to get there. There's lessons to be learned. But I feel like you've already been going through it is what this is saying. So like whatever you've been faithful to, or, whatever you've kind of been, not, I kind of feel it almost this energy of being more dependable on something, if that makes sense. But I kind of feel like you've given your heart to something. It doesn't have to be a person. Again, could be something that you've been learning. It could be like a practice or a business, whatever it is. You haven't given up. We literally see that as your first card. You have this Nine of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the Chariot. I feel like you haven't given up on something because, like, just looking at this reading, to me, I feel like you've always believed in something. And again, it doesn't matter if this is love, business, or otherwise. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. I feel that you've always been kind of like not wanting to give up on something. The Nine of Wands kind of tells me that you're maybe ready to give up. It is the wounded warrior or having gone through something. But again, I think you need to keep in mind that last card, which says there's lessons to be learned. I kind of feel like you've already learned the lessons. I don't feel you're stuck in this energy anymore. Again, mostly because of this Nine of Swords. Just putting all the pieces together, Nine of Wands, Temperance, Nine of Swords, I feel like you've been very patient. You've probably been kind of working on things in your life. And I feel you've been patiently waiting for the changes. And again, really, Nine of Cups, Six of Cups, even with the Three of Swords, doesn't matter. These two cards are very positive. So I feel like there are kind of some blessings coming in for you. You have the Queen of Wands next. Everybody gets the Queen of Wands right now. To me, it's more astrological, the Queen of Wands, because I feel like everybody needs to embrace this energy. It's like almost as if the universe is saying, we need to embrace this boldness, the assertiveness. Like there's a difference between her and the King of Wands. Like he just is kind of bold, assertive, confident. She is as well, but there's a little bit more action behind it, if that makes sense, Aquarius. Like she needs to be bold and assertive. She needs to not care what people think about her or the actions that she's taking in her life. And I definitely get that for you here. I feel like I've said that to you 100 times already in the past. So, I feel that there is an element of, like, if you're fearing to do something, whatever it is, it could have to do with other people in your life. And I feel like you just need to do it anyway because you have the Chariot. It's like, clearly, whatever you're thinking of doing or have been thinking of doing for a long time, I feel there's a lot of success there for you, but you have to take control. And, he's leaving behind this village or the city that is behind him, so, in a lot of ways, I feel that there is this element of going into the unknown. It's kind of interesting because Pisces had a very similar reading. If you have Pisces in your chart, I would definitely go watch that reading. And this is giving me very similar vibes. You two are right next to each other, so it makes perfect sense that you get similar readings. But there's like an element of faith in your reading. And what I would say here is that he has stars up here, moons on his shoulders. It kind of represents as above, so below. He also is meant to look like the magician in the tarot. He even has the magician's wand right here. So, the Chariot driver is kind of like the magician. He creates his own reality with his words or, with what his beliefs or his feelings even. And he's very powerful, like manifester. So I kind of get that energy here where a lot of you could be kind of needing to manifest something. in your life, or it's saying like you can have whatever you want. Really, that's really what I feel here. But you just have to put in the work, obviously. With the Nine of Wands, you have the King of Swords here. Some sort of brick wall in your life that you could be experiencing. It could be a person, but I don't think it has to be. I just feel that part of me feels this is your energy, obviously, Aquarius, but also part of me feels that you could be feeling like you're bumping up against a brick wall. That's really all I'm getting here. And that would make sense, being a brick wall. It's like there's no information. We're going to have to look into that in just a second. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Sun. See, the Sun, here's the thing, is that she has and I already know what this brick wall is. She has the sunflower right here. And the sunflower in the tarot, it is tied with the sun, obviously. And you have the sun. So it's kind of like operating on faith. I feel that you need to have faith in something that you have been working on for a long time. With the next card, that constancy card, it's something that, again, constancy basically represents enduring energy. Something that is enduring, lasts forever. But sometimes I think we have to have faith that something is going to last forever, whether it's in business or love or health or whatever. It's kind of like, you have an option here to move towards something that could be a dream of yours, which is that Page of Cups. We'll talk about that in a minute. But, and it's something that is going to last forever. But I feel you also have to kind of have the faith that it's going to last forever, if that makes sense. With that Sun, the Sun is about focusing on joy and happiness. She doesn't care what's going on in the world. She doesn't care what people think about, her lovers, her businesses, her ideas. She knows that they bring her joy. That's all that matters to her, is her own personal joy. And again, I believe more people live like that, we'd all be probably living better lives, right? We care way too much what other people think. With the Chariot, you have the Page of Swords. You have the Page of Swords twice in your reading. Page of Swords could also be children. Whenever I have it twice in a reading, and also you have the Page of Cups as well. So multiple pages, plus the Six of Cups, children. Some of you could be having a hard time making decisions because of children. It kind of reminds me of the book, The War of Art. Not The Art of War. Everybody always corrects me. No, The War of Art is a book, and by Stephen Pressfield. And in that book, he talks about how sometimes we make decisions to not do something like start a business or, write the book or whatever because we have children or because we have other responsibilities. And, as he says, he's not saying these responsibilities are not important, but what he does say in the book is that sometimes those reasons are exactly why we should start the business, is because we have children. It's like if we start the business and we do it because we have children, then we can also give them better lives, or, whatever the case may be. So sometimes the reasons we don't do something are exactly the reason why we do need to do something. And I kind of get that here in this reading, is that maybe your resistance, as he calls it, and so many other great teachers call it resistance as well, right? Like Esther Hicks. Sometimes the resistance is exactly the reason we do need to do something. Next, you have this constancy card. And again, something has lasted forever. The constancy is the energy of something being kind of like faithful, dependable, something lasting for a very long period of time. And so I kind of feel that here. Something has not changed in your life. And this is not in a bad way. This is in a good way. It's like something has remained constant in your life. And it could be your feelings towards a person, Page of Cups. It could be just the dream that you have had for a very long period of time, because you have the Page of Cups, Temperance, and the Four of Swords. Page of Cups, I always say that, yeah, okay, he could be love, and for some of you, sure, maybe your feelings towards a person haven't changed. Maybe they've been constant. Maybe this person and you have been faithful towards each other, and that's fine. But, he's also looking at that fish, and I always say that fish might not exist. That fish might be part of his imagination. We don't know. And, I always say, my intuitive feeling is that he needs to grab onto that fish. He needs to sink his hooks into it. So I feel like for some of you, this is like a dream that you have had, or something that is maybe bordering on obsession. And sometimes obsessions are not a bad thing, right? So, I feel that sometimes we can create amazing things when we become obsessed, right? About like our career or business or whatever it is that if we're just creating something like a piece of art or whatever. And I kind of feel this energy of needing to create something no matter what, because it's always been there, right? With this constancy energy, something has been permanent in your life. You have the Temperance card. Some changes are going to happen. This whole entire reading, basically, I kind of said it at the beginning of the reading. Everything here is about patience, planning, putting things into action, right? You have that Spider card, which says be meticulous. Being meticulous means like getting all the little moving pieces in place, right? So I feel there's some work to do. Even the Seven of Pentacles, to me can sometimes represent analysis paralysis, where it's like we're analyzing things too much. But it's coming up in the area of the good stuff, so I feel that you're a little bit more organized, a little bit more understanding of the changes that need to be made so that you can live whatever this dream is. And you have the Four of Swords here as well. So again, I feel like some of you have been hoping and praying that you can receive some blessings. He's receiving blessings in this window right here. There's a person receiving blessings there. And so I feel there are blessings coming in for you. But I feel like you have to go on the journey. Here's the thing, is that on the Temperance card, you see this path going up to this golden crown. And that's referred to the path to glory. Basically, the path to whatever it is you want. So I feel like some of you have to get on the journey. It's like you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, just like that Temperance angel. So it's like I feel like you just have to have the faith to move towards one of your dreams. Maybe you're scared or nervous, or maybe you're not. Maybe you're just, maybe it's just the amount of work you have to put into it. Who knows, right? It's different for all of us. And I think once you get started, you're going to be happy that you did. Here you go, with the Page of Cups, you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is inspiration, feeling inspired by something, and kind of, I always say it's the spark of life. It is just the roots going down into the soil from a seed. It is the beginning spark, but, I feel for a lot of you that you're feeling inspired to work towards whatever this dream life is, or, whatever this is. Again, I know I'm not pinpointing what this is, but I literally feel it's different for all of you. Take it how it resonates. Could be love, could be business, or otherwise. With the Temperance card, here you go, Magician, exactly what I was saying with that Chariot card. I feel like you're creating things very quickly. I also feel, the thing about the Temperance card is some sort of change has to happen, especially with the Magician. He has the snake wrapped around his waist, the Ouroboros, and that snake around his waist represents kind of reinventing yourself, changing yourself. I do feel like you're going to be changing. I'm pretty sure I said this to you last week, that, I feel if people are not saying you've changed to you, then something's wrong, right? I always say if I don't hear people saying you've changed, like at least once a week, I have to make some sort of change, right? Because, the problem is everybody just stays the same, and they're just stuck, basically. I just said to someone else in another reading, one of my favorite people of all time, John Taffer, says, if you're doing the same thing today that you did yesterday, you're stuck. So, I'm always changing. I'm always trying new things. I'm always changing my mind, always, changing my beliefs and learning new things. And I feel that this is about that some of you, it's perfectly acceptable for you to change. And I feel like you need to realize that, right? We live in a world that kind of doesn't accept change, where if people, it's almost as if people aren't allowed to change their mind, right? So I feel like this is talking about some changes, and you're going to have to change to go off on this path. That's the whole point. With the Four of Swords, you have the Two of Swords. New Island, going over here. Again, I feel like this is talking about the change you're going to have to make to get to that thing that has been constant in your life. Again, that constancy card, I feel like it could just be a dream, something you've been dreaming of. Could be anything. And again, I feel like, it's like the dream is going to stay the same, but you're changing, or your situation is going to have to change for you to live the dream, or to live whatever this is, right? Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Rebellion card, and you also have this Resourcefulness card. I feel for a lot of you, you are Aquarius. You are ruled by Uranus, which is all about rebellion and being rebellious, right? And this is even Mars in Aquarius, this Rebellion card. So I feel for a lot of you that the Rebellion thing is just saying you're making the changes. And again, this is the area of the good stuff. So normally this is a challenging card. Well, actually, I don't think it's really a challenging card, but in this deck, it's it can be challenging, but we're looking at the good stuff here. I feel like you're going to have to be resourceful to make some changes that you're thinking about making, obviously, but I feel like you're very resourceful at this time. You have that Seven of Pentacles. It's like, resources. So you have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. I feel like you're kind of crawling out of the darkness. That doesn't sound positive, does it? Crawling? I don't know. I feel like it's positive for you, Aquarius. I feel that some of you are getting out of this energy. You're starting to grab onto things, He has this comfort blanket right here, and it's kind of meant to be a comfort blanket, the blanket that's on his lap. It's like, even though he could be, waking up from a nightmare and being stuck in a nightmare, there's still something there to comfort him. It's like years ago, I was miserable, many years ago now, but, for like 3 years, I was like stuck in this like rut in my life. And, that's what I did to crawl out, is I started grabbing on to, those little things, those little bits of positivity. And I know it sounds cliche, And as I always say, but it's like literally the one thing I did. So, I feel for a lot of you, grabbing onto any form of comfort will pull you out. But again, as far as the good stuff is concerned, I feel like you're coming out of this kind of cycle of, whatever, nightmares. Next, you have the Page of Swords. Again, Page of Swords could be children because it's right next to that Six of Cups, which is kind of my combination of children. There could be positive things happening in your children's life, and it is popping into my head. So if you have children, I don't know, I feel like something good is happening here. So there you go. I also feel that research is going to be your best friend right now, Aquarius. Page of Swords to me is a card of like being a detective, really looking into things, really studying, learning, kind of going deep on these things that have been permanent in your life, these constant ideas that maybe you've had for a very long period of time. I feel like researching them is going to be great. You also have this Seven of Pentacles. I kind of am seeing this as Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups in my head intuitively. I feel that you are analyzing things and figuring out how to gather your resources and how to become more resourceful. I also feel like you're able to do a lot right now. So a lot of you, it's like, it's almost as if I see you like a spider. I feel, but it's like you're putting out your web, and it's like the bugs that you're catching in your web are maybe different businesses. Maybe you're working several different side hustles, but I feel like you're working towards a common goal is the words that I'm thinking, that are popping into my head right now. The common goal, it's not really a common goal because I feel like it's your own goal, but at the same time, common goal kind of suggests that you're working with like another person, if that makes sense. I don't know. I have crazy words popping into my head if you can't tell. But what I would say is that I feel like the common goal is maybe you and your higher self, for example. It's like sometimes I think when we're in alignment, we can catch more bugs, like if we're the spider, right? So let's look into this here. Let's see. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. There you go. Love to see it because, like I was saying, he just is that confident. He just is hardworking. He is just naturally entrepreneurial. And we can be entrepreneurial in other areas of our life other than business, right? Being entrepreneurial in the King of Wands sense just represents taking care of something on a very deep level. He really takes care of his health, for example. He does everything he possibly can to be as healthy as possible. That's just one example. But this goes for all other areas of his life. He's always looking for increase and how to increase things in his life as well, and for other people, which is also important. So, kind of like totally abundant. I would also say that some of you could have a fire sign coming in here for love, Queen of Wands, King of Wands. I see this as a big picture reading, obviously. I feel like there's a lot going on here. And, for some of you, if you want love, could be a fire sign, could also just be extremely passionate connection. Obviously, if you're not trying to get pregnant, I would be careful. Like, Ace of Wands, all that, the children talk. With the, and I'm pretty sure Pisces had something very similar, so I'd be careful. With the Page of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. Again, this is the area of the good stuff, so it doesn't matter that you have the Ten of Swords. On the positive side of things, the sun is coming up in the back of the Ten of Swords. Kind of suggests that you're at the end of maybe difficulties, challenges. For some of you, I'm hearing dark night of the soul as well. So if you've experienced a dark night of the soul or some other challenges, I feel like you're kind of coming out the other side. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Eight of Cups, walking towards fulfillment. I do feel like some of you could be walking away from, again, other people's ideas, which, kind of popped into my head over here with the Chariot and also that Queen of Wands. Like I said, the whole point of the Queen of Wands is that she doesn't care what other people think. She trusts that feeling, she trusts her joy, and she doesn't sacrifice herself for other people, which definitely comes up for you here in this reading. So, that's definitely what I'd be doing. Next, in the area of messages from your guides, you have this: you will be a great success, love it, but you will have to go through it to get there. There's lessons to be learned. I kind of feel like you're in the process already. I don't think there's really anything to go through. You've already gone through it. Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords. You're ending this nightmare. But I feel that in a lot of ways, we're always learning. We're always going through things, and we're always, learning lessons. Of course, that's just life. That's, how it is. I kind of feel like you're getting stronger. Maybe you're realizing that. Maybe you're realizing that, the more things you go through, the stronger you become. But you have the Nine of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Three of Swords. For some of you, this could be a heartbreak here, an ending in like a relationship or something along those lines. Three of Swords is about forgiveness. And I feel like your guides are asking you to forgive a situation probably and move on. You have the Eight of Cups here. The Eight of Cups, you could be thinking about the past. Six of Cups, but as I always say, I don't really do X-back readings. I don't think for the most part, I mean, as I always say, do what you want. Someone always comes at me whenever I say this, but it's like, do what you want. I don't care. But what I would say is I always tell people, like, don't go back to the past. I've just read for so many people over the years where it's like they waited for like 40 years for someone to come back from the past. It's like, what a waste. You know what I mean? It's like there are plenty of people there out there for you. And, if you're waiting for someone and waiting, you're going to wait forever. So, I do not recommend waiting for anyone. I feel like there are plenty of people for us. And basically when we're waiting, we're saying this bozo that left me or cheated on me or whatever is the best I can do. It's like, no, you can do better. I guarantee it. You have this Six of Cups here. Six of Cups, I feel, is kind of like forward movement. Six of Cups to me, other than thinking about the past, can be a card of a gift from the universe. And usually the gift we receive is forward movement or forward progress, removal of obstacles. And we kind of see that with the Nine of Cups as well. The Nine of Swords. I feel like that Nine of Swords in the area, the good stuff is saying you're moving past it. You have the Nine of Cups, which is a card of fulfillment. You have the Eight of Cups as well, which really says you're walking towards the Nine of Cups. And here it is. I feel there's a lot of fulfillment and good things coming in for you here. And that's what you're like moving towards. Let's clarify this and let's see. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Lovers. Could be walking towards true love. If you want love, like I said, King and Queen of Cups, very passionate, desireful type of connection. For others, this is clearly you kind of moving off on that new path with the Chariot. The Chariot, again, he's leaving something behind. I do feel some of you could be leaving something behind, but not like you think, I feel Ten of Swords ending, Two of Swords needing to go somewhere new. Some of you could be like traveling, moving. You could just be doing things. Again, it makes perfect sense to me with Neptune and Pisces as well. I feel like a lot of people could just be, Neptune and Pisces is kind of like doing something that maybe your family has never done. It's like maybe your family's never gone to college, but you go to college. Maybe your family has never left the state that you live in, and it's like you're leaving the state you live in. It's kind of like a challenge to traditional belief, Neptune and Pisces, but again, we can also do things that, again, our family maybe has never done. And that's kind of how I see the Lovers. It's like you're kind of leaving it's not like really breaking a curse, right? But it's like sometimes in our families, we just experience the same thing over and over and over again, right? So you could be kind of breaking a tradition even, but maybe it's a good thing. With the Six of Cups, you have the Four of Cups. It's like some sort of disappointment. I would be careful of thinking the grass is greener on the other side, but again, maybe some of you have experienced a grass is greener type situation. At the same time, I feel like this is saying get to work, as far as your guides are concerned. It's like you have everything you need to start progressing. I think you just need to start progressing, right? With the Three of Swords, you have the Page of Cups. So very interesting. That's interesting. Look, Ace of Wands, Page of Cups, Ten of Swords, Page of Swords. There could have been some sort of ending. Three of Swords, Page of Cups here. For some of you, this could be like new love coming in for you with that Page of Cups. For others, it could just be, I kind of get this feeling of maybe you focusing on, again, whatever this, goal, wish, or dream is, and that's what you're choosing to focus on here. But we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards now, Aquarius. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. Feel free to pause this reading if you need time to think of your questions. For question number 1, you have the Sun. You have the Sun twice in this reading. I feel like you need to allow the Sun to be your guide, basically. And again, more with children. The Sun represents your inner child. There's this wall behind the child or the baby on this Sun card, and it kind of represents the wall we all build up against our inner child. Remember what I was saying about maybe, I'm not saying you're making excuses, but creating resistance, reasons why you can't do something. That could be that wall behind the baby. I feel like you need to move towards your joy and happiness. For question number 2, I kind of feel like saying maybe. I feel like you need to listen to your intuition. Again, I keep forgetting to call this yes, no, maybe, because tarot isn't set in stone. You control your life, obviously, but I kind of feel that you need to trust your intuition on something. It's like I get this energy of needing to see how expansive something could be. And what I mean by that is she has no roof over her head. It kind of represents the fact that there are no limits to what she can create, what she can do if she would only get started. So in a lot of ways, I feel that if you could just see how whatever you're asking about, how expansive it could be, I feel like that's all you need to do. There you go. For question number 3, I would say yes if you put the work in. So yes. But this is one hell of a reading. I definitely like this. So thank you for being here, Aquarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you and definitely enjoy your week.